let us leave the evening hall. I know I'm dawdling a lot here. I'm taking my time. Technically, Triss is dying downstairs right now. We shouldn't be doing this at all, but whatever. Again, great attention to detail. We've got murder holes. We've got siege cauldrons, the remains of them. This is above the gate. Should be right above the gate. Yes, it is. This is the way out. So anyone coming through that gate would get hot water, boiling sand, sometimes pitch poured on their heads, lit on fire. Great defensive technique. Whoever designed the castle in this game knew what they were doing with castle design. They must have taken... CD PR must have taken special care to do that. Anyway, there's a lot of chests in here. Let's loot them. We've got Temerian iron daggers. 1 to 6 damage. This actually shows us the damage, and these are not dependent on the equation for the steel swords. I'm going to drop that and take this one just to get it to... can't carry more than one of these at a time. You can only carry as many weapons as there are inventory slots, and each inventory slot has a particular, what do we call it? Only certain items can go into each inventory slot. If I wanted to, I could drag my steel sword and have it on my waist instead. I'll keep it on the back for now because that's what Witchers are supposed to do. It looks like my sword's a little screwball. Fortunately, the scabbard mod is a tad buggy, and sometimes it doesn't quite align with the scabbard once you put it back in. But usually, well, it didn't that time, but whatever. We will just leave it. It's fine. Always load and come back in. Here, let's just drop it and then pick it up again. I'll tell you what. Here. Okay, drop it and then pick it up. Whatever. We have an axe. Damage 5 to 15, chance of bleeding 40%, a weapon that cannot be used in combination with the Witcher combat style. So, we could put an axe here. I'm going to do that for now, because there's nothing better to put in that slot. What it means by you can't use this with the combat styles is all of these strong steel, all of this stuff doesn't work with it, so what you see is what you get with the axe. I tend to not rate side weapons in The Witcher very highly. They're kind of useless, and we'll likely just be selling these if we can find someone that will buy them. Leave that iron dagger there. It's in the crate. Some white gold, which we needed. We needed an unknown potion. We don't need an unknown potion, but we're going to take one anyway. And we have Monstrum, or A Betrayal of the Witchers. An anti-Witcher pamphlet describes how ordinary people perceive Witchers and recounts the story of Kaer Morhen's destruction. Take it all. Even once you've read books, by the way, you always want to hang on to them because oftentimes they're valuable to sell. So you don't want to drop those under any circumstance, even if you run out of inventory room. We will read that. Monstrum, or A Portrayal of the Witchers. Indeed, there is nothing more repulsive than these monsters that defy nature and are known by the name of Witcher. As they are the offspring of foul sorcery and witchcraft, they are unscrupulous scoundrels without conscience and virtue. Veritable creatures from hell, capable only of taking lives. They have no place amongst decent and honest folk. And this Kaer Morhen, where these villains nest and practice foul rituals, must be wiped off the face of the earth, and all evil traces of it need be treated with salt and saltpeter to complete the deed. And this adds a entry glossary on Witchers. We'll read that as well. Due to their otherness, unusual abilities, and magic skills, Witchers are treated as outcasts and sometimes even met with hatred. This hatred was made manifest during the infamous attack on Kaer Morhen, which led to the destruction of the fortress and the death of most of the Witchers wintering there. Those who survived are doomed to extinction since they no longer train successors. Well, except for Leo. He was the one hope that we had, but he's gone now too. This attack that they're talking about is what caused the ruination of Kaer Morhen here. It wasn't the one that we just suffered. It was long before this. People need Witchers, but are simultaneously afraid of them. The itinerant warriors inspire fear because they're mutants and have superhuman powers. The Witcher is rarely a welcome guest, and contacts with members of this profession are almost always limited to business. Witchers are invariably attacked during pogroms and social upheavals, directed at those who deal in magic. So, lots of scorn and suspicion heaped upon us because of our nature, because of our itinerant behavior, how we move from town to town. We have no home, really. We winter in Kaer Morhen, but for the most part, Witchers are kind of vagabonds, and people don't trust them because of that, because as quickly as they come, they go. And if they don't do the job right, maybe something happens in the town, they attribute to the Witcher, instead of maybe a more reasonable explanation. But people fear what they don't know. It's just always been the way, always been the case. Rightly or wrongly, for that matter. But I would suggest in the case of the Witchers that would be the wrong idea, at least for the most part. Triss's room, so lots of stuff in here that we have to loot as well. All turned around, jeez. So many things. Cabinet. More water. Take it. Trunk. More water. And, this water is different from the other water for some reason. Don't know why. And another grindstone, this time by... So whetstone is 10%, grindstone is 20. Both of them are temporary still. And a wardrobe. With some bread, some goat's milk, and some mutton leg. And the goat's milk, I guess, restores endurance, which is magic, not vitality. The food usually restores the vitality. Makes sense, I guess. Drinks restore endurance. Yeah, that makes sense. I suppose. Take it. Can't do magic on, well, when you're thirsty. You can't fight on an empty stomach. Okay. Trying to think what else we need. I'm not sure if that was the only things we needed for, go up to Triss's room, I think. Where's her area? Right, we have to go down here. So again, very interesting. This is actually the other tower that had the ruined staircase. That's down to the Witcher lab there. We couldn't get over here from this way, but we can get from the other way. Get up here from the other way. Triss's room is up here. Nicest room in the castle by far. I wonder how much of this would be magic, but man, that mirror effect still looks great, even to this day. Stained glass windows. I guess this is high enough up in the tower where it didn't suffer much damage. Still has traces of the decoration on the ceilings. Alright, dresser. Toussaint red wine. This is medium strength alcohol, slightly better than the beer, which is weak. Take it. Sorry, Triss. You know the rules. And we have blueberries in the cupboard. Not much else. Tiger skin. Such decadence. A bathtub. Tapestries. Very pretty. In our own fireplace. Go down. And go back up this way. Go in there. The library we've been in, the ground floor. I think we've explored everything. Pretty sure. Yeah, I think so. Did we do the armory? Shouldn't we have gotten armor? Weapons? No? Maybe not. It's the ground floor. Were we in here? Yes. Yes, we were. What time is it? 1700, so 5 o'clock. Back downstairs we go. The lighting changes over time in the game. When you get towards evening, it starts going a little grayer. We came up here. It was sort of a more warm light. Now it's cooled off a bit. We're heading towards dusk. So, right, the fireplace. Looks like the other Witchers have turned up. Eskel, Lambert, Vesemir. I'm going to talk to all of them again. It's just you three guys, right? Yeah.
Oh, that was a tough fight.
I found a few intruders upstairs, but...
I understand they won't be a problem. Lambert, however, let the Frightener get to him. Nothing serious. Good you went after Triss and handled that mage.
She was able to salvage some equipment, but it looks like the main device has vanished.
Our beautiful sorceress was right, I know. You did well, Wolf. Take this armor and sword. I've been keeping them for you.
Nice. So...
Are there other Witchers?
There were 3 Witcher schools in all, but it's been long since I've heard word of the other 2. You've met all the Witchers I know of, except for Berengar.
Did I know him?
I don't believe so. An introvert, he chose his own path. Actually, none here can say they know Berengar. He often ran away from Kaer Morhen, though he would always return in the end. After the trial of the grasses, he finally accepted his destiny and started training for real.
So why isn't he here then?
Why isn't he here?
I don't know. We lost touch with him a while back.
Can I ask you something?
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Who was Leo?
Who was Leo?
One of hundreds of orphans of the war with Nilfgaard. I apprenticed him 6 years ago.
I'm sorry.
We'll recover our secrets and find Leo's murderers, even if they fled to the end of the world.
Amen.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
You mentioned defending Kaer Morhen before. Well, that's interesting. I gotta remember to not read the lines. I'm so used to having to voice act everything in friggin' KotOR. I don't have to do that anymore.
You mentioned defending Kaer Morhen before.
Yes. 15 Witchers once lived here, training boys for their trials. Only they knew the secrets of mutation. Witchers who set out on a path and failed to assimilate among humans wintered here. Before the battle, 23 Witchers and 40 students called Kaer Morhen home. Too damned few for the mob that attacked. I never knew why they came. Some say a sudden explosion of anger born of disdain for Witchers. But no. Someone provoked the mob with flyers filled with lies. Special agents read them to the peasants. Truer still, the fanatics could never have taken the fort without the aid of sorcerers, though they outnumbered us by far. They didn't even spare the youngest. I alone survived, concealed among the corpses. Walk around, Wolf. The skeletons remain. You may find a flyer, there used to be hundreds. Memorize it as a warning of the evil humans can perpetrate.
That's the tragedy we just read about in that pamphlet. Already found it. So, it's a shame.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Any idea who attacked? I'm doing it again.
Any idea who attacked?
No, but the mage suggests no ordinary bandits. We found pins adorned with salamanders on the dead. The symbol of their organization, perhaps? I sense hard times ahead.
I guess we'll speak later.
We'll speak later.
Right, so, just got our new duds. And we lost something. We lost our sword. I don't know if I want to lose my sword, so... How about this? We get rid of this stupid wood-cutting axe, and we pick up the rusty sword again. That looks better, I think. Right, let's take a look at the items that we just received. We also received a scroll here, which we have to read about. Yeah, so the monstrum was one of those pamphlets he was talking about. We have a studded leather jacket, damage received, minus 5%, but more importantly, I guess not for this, never mind. I thought that we might have gotten an extra slot, but I forgot that's the next level up for armor. And we got a Witcher's Steel Sword, so this is the bar that they measure all the other weapons against. And basically matches all of the other Witcher's swords that we've seen so far. And looks friggin' badass, I might add. Love it. A lot of people like to install weapon mods for The Witcher 1. I actually think the weapons in this game are some of the best that I've seen in an RPG, just by default. Again, CDPR did a great job doing research. This sword itself, with the sort of the bone crossguard here, that's right from a medieval fencing treatise. One of the German ones, I believe. You can actually see pictures in this stance with this guard. If you look around on the internet. Just search for Vomtag, you'll run into them eventually. V-O-M-T-A-G. It's from the roof in German. Some people think it's actually from the day. I'm not sure that makes much sense, but anyway. Some translations. Medieval German's a little Byzantine. What are we doing here? So we could talk to Eskel, I suppose. Put the sword away. Looking for the damn button. And we also got some of these new duds, which slightly different from what it looks like default. This is one of the mods in the game that I've installed. I think it looks better overall. Kind of unifies the colors a bit more, darkens things up a bit. Looks a little newer, a little more fancy. Kind of like that. Eskel.
Need anything, Wolf?
I have some questions.
What is it?
What I use is the base for my... I'm doing it again.
What do I use as the base for my potion?
Alcohol. The better it is, the purer and more powerful your potion.
Seem to feel at home.
You seem to feel at home here.
Well, I've always preferred an armory to a lab. Though Vesemir plays up the importance of potions, he's hardly an expert. After all, he's always taught swordplay. Still, he tries to teach us everything he learned when he was young, and that was a while back. But to be honest, I don't care for all these powders, mushrooms, and other trash.
Yeah, me neither.
Couldn't Triss have helped with Leo's mutation?
Maybe. It's a little more complicated than that. See, we've never shown her the lab, and the last mutation was completed years ago, before the battle. Vesemir can tell you more.
Yeah, you really think Triss never used magic to peek inside?
You really think Triss never used magic to peek inside?
She respects our secrets, and she's done a lot for us. For you. I trust her.
So why haven't you shown her the lab?
Triss would like to use our secrets to heal people and such. I've no doubt she'd try, but it's never that simple. Ever heard of the gnome Alfred Nabel?
Eskel, I have amnesia.
An incomparable inventor, like most of his race. Through years of research, he discovered an amazing substance. He intended it for use in mines and quarries. Though a genius, Alfred failed to foresee his invention's possible applications. Others quickly realized that a substance designed to rip granite from the ground could destroy castle walls. Some even considered using it in open battle.
I get it. So what happened to Alfred's discovery?
Mages stopped it from spreading. Alfred committed suicide, and his lab burned down.
Yeah, I see what they did there. Let's, is there something else to say about
Couldn't
Triss?
Triss have helped with
Maybe.
Talk to
I'll
Vesemir?
talk to Vesemir.
Oh, okay, that cut the conversation short. Whoops. Didn't want to do that, sorry.
How can I help?
Tell me about the trial of the grasses.
It's a 3-stage process. The first is the choice. Leo completed it, enduring the hard training and diet.
I presume it's more than your basic lettuce and carrots.
Special mushrooms, mosses, and herbs are grown in the lab. Combined with training, they accelerate muscle growth and digestion, improving the body's general condition.
Does everyone pass the first stage?
Unfortunately not. The liver and heart often fail. The mind sometimes too, resulting in excessive aggression.
What's the second stage?
What's the second stage?
The trial of the grasses. More idiotic tales have been conjured up about that than about princesses and dwarves. Before the raid, the lab contained vials, hearths, formulae, herbs, and the grasses. A mage and his magic were all that was lacking.
Did you ever witness a trial?
Just one, our own. I thought I was going to lose it when your hair turned white. The grasses affect the nervous system, so magic must control the process. The trial results in lightning-fast reflexes, reaction times normal people will never attain. Only 4 out of 10 survive.
It's quite a cut from the last stage.
Quite a cut. And the last stage?
I don't know the specifics. It involves changes like the mutation of the eyes, the bone marrow, hormones. In exchange, we see in the dark, heal much faster than ordinary folk, and gain increased resistance to poison.
Interesting. What's the cost?
We're infertile.
The changes are irreversible?
Entirely.
Oh. Well, that's a bit of a downside. All of that sounded pretty great up till that point. Why is this still?
Tell me
loading?
about the trial.
It's a
Does it?
Oh, it's just.
I think
How can I?
Yeah. Did you see the magic storm?
Did you see the magic storm?
Yes, I was out hunting. Just before the storm came, a swarm of nightjars took flight. Hundreds of them. Gray streaks across the sky, trilling wildly. Usually less of them gather, and their cries rarely sound so desperate. When the storm came, I gave up the hunt and headed toward Kaer Morhen. Met the others on the way.
And that's when Eskel found us when we were running through that thunderstorm, through the rain, which we should probably talk about now that it's been mentioned. We'll talk later, Eskel.
We'll talk later.
So as Eskel was hinting at there by mentioning those swarms of nightjars going mad, that storm we turned up in during the beginning of the game was no ordinary storm. And I'd like you guys, if you can, to commit the events of that cutscene to memory. Just as a reminder, 5 years after the Great War ends, after having been missing for a long time, Geralt suddenly turns up near Kaer Morhen, seemingly out of nowhere, fleeing through a thunderstorm in the pouring rain, lost, wounded, and bereft of all his memories. I know you all probably won't see the relevance yet, but I promise it'll become clearer once the plot starts being revealed. So just keep it on the back burner for now. It seems to me, though, that it looks like Lambert has disappeared. And we've got this Frightener's Vision formula as well. I should probably read that. Notes containing the formula for a potion made using the Frightener's Eye. The potion grants 1 bronze talent when consumed. And the effects are, when imbibed, this mutagenic potion adds 1 bronze talent, which can be used to acquire enhancements. Preparation of the potion is made by mixing a Frightener's Eye with ingredients providing 1 measure each of vitriol, Cobrith, and rebus. Strong, high-quality alcohol must be used as a base. Duration of effects immediate, toxicity none. The sorcerers who pioneered the Witcher mutations discovered that mixing rare and powerful ingredients with more common substances resulted in potions that strengthened the Witcher's mutations. This potion, made with a Frightener's Eye, transforms and fortifies the Witcher's body when consumed. So that's kind of neat. That's one of the potions that we can make with the ingredients once we find the Frightener's Eye outside in the courtyard, which is where the corpse will be. We'll be going to get that in a moment. Looks like Lambert is actually tending to Triss. Or rather, the fire. Yeah, that's in character, I guess.
What do you need?
Done, I guess. I was thinking he might have had some more stuff for us to hear, but let me just test something real quick. Let's drop this. Talk to him again.
What do you need?
No.
I'll find you later.
Give me that. I was thinking he had more dialogue, but Vesemir.
Yes?
No.
We'll speak later.
I know one of them does. It might be after the after fixing Triss up.
How can I help?
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Must be. Where are you, Lambert?
What do you need?
Yeah, okay. Done. I have the ingredients and it's safe upstairs.
Done. I have the ingredients and it's safe upstairs.
Good. You'll need 2 more things to make the potion. The claw of a mighty beast and some celandine. Vesemir will tell you where to find them. Let me teach you the formula.
Nice. Potion with Triss. I need to talk to Vesemir. But before I do
what
that...
do you need?
What do I do now?
What do I do now?
Talk to Vesemir. He'll give you instructions.
Alright. I'll find you later.
I'll find you later.
I will talk to him. Oh, she's still dead. Dying, rather. Not dead. What am I saying? Vesemir.
Yes?
Lambert gave me the formula.
Lambert gave me the formula.
I take it you already have white gall and calcium equum.
I do.
Yes.
What next?
You'll need celandine. Take what I have. Plus the claw of a monster like the Frightener. To skin a creature, take a sharp knife and cut along the torso. You'll find the Frightener's carcass in the upper courtyard. Once you've extracted the claw, rest by the fire while making the potion.
Alright.
Yes?
What if I get the ingredients wrong?
What if I get the ingredients wrong?
You'll have to find more.
Where?
I'll have another claw and more celandine.
Oh, okay.
Eskel has alcohol, and I saw calcium equum somewhere upstairs. But try to get it right the first time. It's not that hard.
Yes, don't be an idiot. Alright.
We'll speak later.
We will speak later. So, Lambert, have you anything more to say now that,
What do you need?
it's been done?
I'll
No,
find you later.
surprisingly. I know one of them has more dialogue, damn it.
How can I help?
Alright, I'm gonna just
talk later.
assume that it's after we heal Triss. Oh, speaking of which, not really about Triss at all, but something I just remembered now. I promised that I would tell you guys about all the mods. I'm gonna stand over by this window, it's pretty. But all the mods that I have installed that you've seen so far in the opening cutscene and just kind of being around Kaer Morhen. And I have a list up here. So, obviously Project Mersey has been running. Not too much has been changed in Kaer Morhen from what I understand with that mod. It mostly comes in later in the other acts. But the first thing that we saw was better rain fog, which improved the amount of radioactive green mist that coats the land. It kind of removes some of that and makes it a little bit more sensible. Doesn't look so... I think part of the reason why they added so much fog in the first place in the game was to kind of cover for poorer video cards. so when it was raining, it kind of... all the drops wouldn't cause the game to freak out so much, so that's been improved. Obviously, the new Witcher outfits that you've been seeing here, if any of you have played the game before, Eskel and Lambert and Vesemir and Leo all had new clothing that were made as a mod. I don't remember the names of the mods. Like I said, I'm going to put that all down in the description of this video, or one of the videos, probably the first video. So look for it there. In addition to the new outfits, there are all the cat eyes that each of the Witchers have, including Geralt. They weren't present in... well, Geralt's were, but the rest of them weren't in the default game. After that, there are higher resolution torchlights, which, again, this is very minor stuff, but they were a very low resolution by default, and they've been improved, I think. Triss has blue eyes, as per her description in the book. There are better scars on Geralt's face. I'll try and get a close-up shot somewhere, maybe in front of this pillar over here where you can see it. Get the camera to go in close. By default, these scars were a lot more red and a lot more... they looked fresher. They looked too fresh, and all of these scars that he had, even his Striga scar here, has been added to his face. All of these were given to him years and years ago. They shouldn't have been that red to begin with. It's not a big change, but it's an improvement, I think. Obviously, there's the scabbard mod, which is not in the game by default. These were actually assets that were made by the developers, were made by CDPR, but they were disabled because they caused too much lag, because they gave them to every other NPC in the game. They've only been restored for Geralt, and I think that's kind of nice. They're also kind of a tad buggy. Sometimes when you put the sword back in the scabbard, they don't exactly line up just right. There's nothing that can be done about that. But I like their addition. They're kind of nice looking. You've seen the Perfect Blood mod at work, which makes the blood look fresher. Looks more red. It looks not quite so old as it did in the original game. Makes the cuts on enemies are a little bit too much, in my opinion. A little overblown, but the droplets that are all over the place look good, and the blood on the weapons looks better. There's been a movement speed fix, which Project Mersey usually adds that in. I replaced Project Mersey's with my own, or a different one, rather, that sets it so that you run as fast, whether you're just walking around or whether you have your sword out, which I can't. There we go. You run the same speed no matter what style you're in. Doesn't matter. And even when it's holstered, you run the same speed. There was an element of randomness in the run speed in The Witcher by default, which was there by intention, but honestly, you have to run so many places in this damn game that it's better that it's just kind of set to a reasonable rate. And I didn't set it at the highest. It was it's set to be kind of middle of the road just for all of them. It saves me the trouble of having to get out a sword every time I want to run faster. I don't have to worry about that anymore, and that's what a lot of people used to do when they would play the game. So, other than that, there are the better jacket that we have here. Looks like the time is ticking away. We're heading into evening now, but Geralt has a nicer looking jacket, and his excellent leather jacket, which is the next tier up, also looks a little better. If we ever buy that armor. We haven't seen it yet, but yeah. And the last one is walking, which has been enabled in over-the-shoulder mode. You never used to be able to just walk. You would have to run everywhere. That's kind of a nice mod. That's all we've seen so far. That's about a third of the mods that were installed. They're all pretty minor. The bigger ones, again, just Project Mersey. It fixes a lot of stuff a lot of bugs. And the purpose of these were to be mostly not noticeable when you play the game. There's a few more that are coming up that I'll point to, but that's it for now that we've seen so far. Anyway, it's heading on night. We should probably get going with the quest. What do we have to do? Let's check our journal. Berengar's secret. My Kaer Morhen companions and I are not the only remaining Witchers. Apparently Berengar is also still alive. He stays away from the Brotherhood and wasn't at the fortress when it was attacked. Where was he then? And who is he? If I ever meet him, I'll be certain to at least ask those questions. Vesemir mentioned another graduate of Kaer Morhen, the Witcher named Berengar. Got to explore the fortress, make sure all the others are alright, and a potion for Triss. We need to do that. I wanted to talk to Lambert. That's who I was after. Did Lambert have anything to say?
What do you...
I'm an idiot.
I'll find you
Never
later.
mind. We already talked to him. No, we have to go and harvest the ingredients. This is the wrong way. This is back inside, other than outside. I thought we wouldn't have to go out here again. Apparently I was wrong. Off into the courtyard. Love the artwork on these loading screens as well. It's just so pretty. You can use any of these as a wallpaper. I think you can find them somewhere in the, must want to meditate, you know. Okay. So, yeah, the Frightener has been slain by our fellow Witcher companions. If we wanted to fight the damn thing, we could have used these siege cauldrons to make noise. As we were told, the Frightener hated noise. We could have also used this bell over here. Again, really neat that they would take the time to animate that. Yeah, so it's teaching us how to extract remains. And since we have the ingredients, or have the knowledge to do this by reading this book, The Frightener, to extract ingredients from monsters, you need to read books, and you need those hero skills that we had in the intelligence tree. Herb lore and herbalism and monster lore in particular will help towards that. So all three of those things. You need the books as well to tell you about the herbs so that you can recognize them, but those other two things help you out with the harvesting, I guess. Frightener's Claw and a Frightener's Eye. One of each. We need the claw for Triss and the eyes for us to this barrel by chance. No, it hasn't replenished. That's good. Back in we go. Yeah, one of each. We need the eye for ourselves for the Frightener's Vision potion, and the claw for the potion for Triss. I definitely want to meditate probably until dawn, I think. Or until afternoon, anyway. And those show up down, and that's the Celandine we got from Vesemir here. Triss is gone. She must be up in her room. Where are the other Witchers? They must be upstairs somewhere or something. Vesemir?
Yes?
Where are Lambert and Eskel?
Where are Lambert and Eskel?
Upstairs. Lambert's in the library, and Eskel's taking Triss to a room.
Alright, good news. I have all the ingredients.
I have all the ingredients.
Good. Now rest, and prepare the potion according to the formula.
Alright. I will speak with you later, then.
We'll speak later.
Before I do that, I'm actually going to go upstairs, because I don't know whether... Where did he say they were? In the lab?
Yes?
Where are Lambert and Eskel?
Upstairs.
Library, okay, we'll
We'll
speak later.
speak later.
Alright, I'm gonna meditate. I'm gonna save before I do. Do some meditation, and let's do the interior save right there. Before I brew that potion, let us make it today. Yeah, it's gonna try and get us to is it, just after sunset? Yes. Okay, I want it to be, I don't know, 1 o'clock the next day, I think. Alright, that's better. Go upstairs and see Lambert in particular. I know he's the one probably with the extra dialogue. Eskel should be with Triss. This is the damn wrong way. Of course it is. Go through the kitchen to get there. Upper floor. Right, so already looted all of this. That's Triss's room, the library, Lambert. There you are.
What is it, Wolf?
There we go. Any thoughts on the attackers?
Any thoughts on the attackers?
Amateurs. If not for the mage and the frightener, we'd have beaten them blindfolded.
But they had a mage and a frightener. They robbed us and killed Leo.
True, but we'll find them.
Leo said he almost defeated you.
We were sparring when that storm arrived. My medallion jerked so hard I almost fell. The boy saw an opening. He certainly had potential. Then Marigold appeared, shaking, delirious. She insisted we chase the wild hunt. Vesemir agreed. He always had a soft spot for her.
You dislike Triss?
She's too pretentious for my taste.
So again, more hints about what is going on. Triss wanted them to chase the wild hunt, which is a phenomenon that arises on storms, and Eskel's medallion was shaking, which is why Leo was able to land that hit. The Witcher medallions shake whenever a monster is nearby, or wherever magic is strong. So it's all pointing to the fact that that storm was quite unusual. The wild hunt will become much more important later on. We'll be hearing more about that. Can you tell me about the Witcher fighting styles?
Can you tell me about the fighting styles Witchers use?
The art of combat involves 3 traditional sword fighting styles, plus a few variations designed for combating monsters.
Well, you start with the basics.
Start with the basic styles.
Kaer Morhen is the wolf school. Old Vesemir always made sure we trained more as warriors than mages, though we also learned the signs. Witches employ 3 fighting styles. There's Aden Enye, the fiery dancer, which we call the fast style. The Viruleden Nefde Fendlediv, the group style. And the Temerian devil, the strong style. Nice. Which style do you want to hear about?
Well, why don't we start with the fiery dancer?
The fiery dancer sounds interesting.
The legendary elven swordsman and poet Nisael created it, basing the system of steps and cuts on his observations of wildcats, especially the ocelots that elven rulers used as palace guards. The fiery dancer favors speed and agility over strength of blows. Opponents simply don't have the time to strike back. The ideal swordsman is a flame that cannot be hurt and inflicts wounds each time it is touched. Nisael himself wrote that. The style is popular among the elven aristocracy. Which style do you want to hear about?
That's actually good advice. Where anytime you're touched, they go away wounded. So anytime you parry or riposte, anytime you ward or throw a guard out or do a deflectional cut, it will damage them rather than you. And it's every defense in longsword, European longsword, is an offense. Well, most, if you're doing them correct. So you have the Viruleden style. Why don't we learn about that? That's the group style, isn't it?
Tell me about the Viruleden style.
Literally translated, it is the 9-sun sword style. The swordsman of Viruledo developed it as a method for tackling several opponents through complex slashing sequences. They say masters of this style can fight 9 opponents simultaneously. Which style do you want to hear about?
So obviously, with a great sword, you want to keep it in constant motion, always twirling, unpredictable movements to prevent enemies from surrounding you or from attacking you one at a time. Keep it in motion, it's always threatening, and so forth. It's actually The Witcher kind of knows what it's doing with these, so talk about the Temerian Devil.
Temerian Devil sounds familiar.
Sounds poetic, but there's little or no philosophy involved. Devised by Temerian Landsknechts, simple men. It's best against heavy armored opponents. Which style do you want to hear about?
Yeah, the Landsknechts, again, were European mercenaries, German mercenaries, from sort of the regions around Bavaria, sometimes Switzerland, sometimes Ulm and Schwabia. It's kind of interesting bits of European history that they kind of put into The Witcher.
I think I've heard enough.
Lends the atmosphere a bit more weight. Can you tell me about the fighting styles Witchers use?
Can you tell me about the fighting styles Witchers use?
The art of combat involves 3 traditional sword fighting styles, plus a few variations designed for combating monsters.
I wouldn't mind hearing about the monster fighting techniques.
I wouldn't mind hearing about monster fighting techniques.
You noticed we carried 2 swords? That's because some monsters are immune to steel. A normal sword won't cut them.
For instance?
Werewolves, vampires, genies, and other magical beasts. The techniques for fighting with a silver sword derive from traditional swordsmanship, but there are a few essential differences. No parries and ripostes, mainly steps, evasive moves, spins, and other acrobatics.
I'll be in trouble if I don't get my memory back.
You'll be all right, Wolf. Your body will recall all it needs to. Certain things you never forget. Trust your intuition when choosing your fighting style. The Devil's best against Kikimors, Graviers, and Fledders. The Fiery Dancer is absolutely superb against Barghests and Ghouls. And the Viruleden? Anything that attacks in groups, but initially limited to drowners.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lambert.
No problem, Wolf.
That's all good information. Why can we...
Can you tell me about the fight?
The article...
I wouldn't...
You know... Well...
I've heard enough.
Any other question?
Yeah, okay. We'll speak later.
We'll speak later.
Yeah, that's all interesting stuff. So, Temerian Devil. This. This was what? The Fiery Dancer. And we have the Viruleden here. Interesting stances. This is kind of like Iron Door or Codalonga, the Italian longsword tradition. The one that's kind of the one that makes the least sense is this stance here. They could have, I don't know, they could have changed that a little bit and it would have been beautiful. I like the way he runs with this, though. I think I mentioned that already. Stupid rolling. Oh, what was that? Okay. Yeah, don't roll in combat, especially not in real life. You'll get killed. What sort of dodges do we have with this? That's a little more reasonable. I mean, it's a needless spin, but the backward one is not so bad because you're keeping the sword in motion. I like this dodge the best. Unfortunately, Lambert is gone. Where the hell are you, Lambert? I'll be able to demonstrate it by moving past him. That's Eskel. Eskel, you're supposed to be looking after Triss. What the hell are you doing in here?
How can I help?
Okay.
We'll talk later.
Triss is probably still damaged. There you are.
What is it, Wolf?
So they just move around
We'll
up here.
speak later.
Okay. It's not like they have anything else to say. They just move, which, as they should. And that's kind of another thing that's nice about The Witcher. NPCs in the game have their own schedules that they keep to. Their own patterns, their daily rhythms that they go through. In the morning, they go to work. They stay at work all day. They go home in the evenings, or they go to inns in the evenings rather than they go home. Sleep in their homes. Rinse and repeat. Sometimes they pray at shrines. It's kind of like the Radiant AI that everyone was going on about in friggin' Oblivion, but I don't know, I actually think it's... I don't know if it's better, but it's certainly better in some ways than Oblivion's was. It's a little bit more... There's more steps, I think. Vesemir?
Yes?
No.
We'll speak later.
We need to meditate and make that potion. That's what I was trying to do. Yeah. What is our journal saying? Basic alchemy and alchemy. These are tutorials. Skinning monsters. Who cares about any of that? The glossary. We learned nothing new there. Lots of different alchemical ingredients and properties. Formula, we're good. Potion for Triss. This potion is recommended for Triss. It has no other uses. Preparation. The potion is made by mixing a Frightener's Claw with ingredients providing a total of 1 measure each of rebus and vitriol. Duration of effects is immediate. Toxicity is none. According to Lambert's instructions, the potion for the unconscious sorceress Triss can be made of celandine, a Frightener's Claw, and a suent mushroom. But calcium equum can replace the latter ingredient. Once gathered, these components should be mixed with white gall. So we need to make the white gall first before we can make the potion for Triss. And white gall is what? A hallucinogenic beverage. It can also be used to create other potions. It serves as a base for complex potions, accommodating up to 5 other ingredients. Preparation. The potion is created by mixing ingredients, providing 2 measures of vitriol and 1 measure of rebus. Strong alcohol must be used as a base. Long-lasting. Toxicity is medium. White gall is a mild hallucinogen, which provides pleasure during the long nights Witchers spend at their fortresses waiting out the winter. The Witchers make this potion using secret sapphirites, grown... Saprophytes? Yes. Grown in the dungeons of Kaer Morhen. It can be made from commonly available ingredients. And so the alchemy, to create alchemy, you go to this icon up here. Only available when you're next to a campfire while you're meditating. Teaches you how kind of to do that. You can click from the ingredients here to make the potion. You can select the potion and it adds all the ingredients for you, or you can actually manually do this by dragging and dropping. Like I said, you don't even need the what do you call it? We already had some white gall, so you don't need the recipe to know how to make the potions. And that is a potion for Triss. Yes, we'll mix it. Need to meditate at least 1 hour to do that. And there we go. That's that. We still had some white gall left over, apparently. Can we not make the Frightener's Vision? No. We need some more ingredients to do that. We'll have to wait until we get out of here. We will meditate 1 hour. Excuse me. Right. So... same deal on the scrolls as well. You don't want to sell those to merchants. Or, I mean, you don't want to drop those on the ground. You want to keep a hold of them and sell them to merchants. We have the potion. Let's go and look to Triss. Vesemir.
Yes? We'll speak later.
And Triss is this way. Oh, there's another mural over here.
Defending common folk. Inspiring.
Nice. That is probably Witcher George fighting the dragon. Or the cockatrice in this case. Obviously a reference to St. George. Slayed the dragon. Is it through the kitchen? Yes, it is. Yeah, okay. Good. Just checking my inventory. Vesemir and Eskel, not Eskel, Eskel and Lambert are still up here somewhere, I'm sure. Where are they? Just saw one of them. There you are.
What is it, Wolf?
Yeah, so you roam around.
We'll speak later.
You don't have anything else to say. Eskel was down here. Already looted everything, so...
How can I help?
You have a different sword now.
We'll talk later.
Interesting. He must have been training. Oh yes, he is training. About to practice his fighting against that dummy over there, probably. Nice. Alright, Triss, where are you? Gags around here. Is it there? No, it's over here. Down here and then up. Alright. Nothing to loot. Let's give her potion. Surprised she's not dead yet at my pace. Double click the healing potion to give it to Triss. Tip, win favors of other characters by giving them gifts. We'll talk about that later. Let's give the gift, though. I have something for you. Potion for Triss. Just drag and drop into here.
Thank you, Geralt.
I hope this potion helps.
That was terrible. I dreamt Lambert was with me. He was staring at me, saying things like, "Don't go dying on me, Marigold," calling me big-headed. I'm so glad to see you. What?
I'm glad you're feeling better.
I know we should set out, but I have a feeling we won't be back. Perhaps ever.
Yeah.
Won't you stay just a bit longer? With me?
You're talking kind of seductive there. No time to... there's time. Would Geralt want to, though? Would he... He has amnesia. He doesn't remember who Triss is, really. But he knows that she was important, so... I mean, she's the only one that he really remembers that well, too. I think with amnesia, he would probably want to... probably be clinging to the things that are the most familiar to him, so... Yeah, I think he would, to be honest. Would...
I suppose we have some time.
I'm so happy you're back. When I saw you, all the feelings I tried to deny returned, stronger than ever.
Triss, I'm not ready to talk about the past.
Of course. I shouldn't pressure you. I just feel so... The powers. I'm behaving like a teenager. Let's focus on the present. I guess I disappointed you all. Forgive me.
It gives you, like, another chance to back out of it, I guess. I mean, what... It's not your fault. You helped us.
Nothing to forgive. What I felt when I learned you were alive, hard to compare to anything.
Oh.
Except maybe what I feel as I look at you.
I missed you so. Let's see if the best bed in Kaer Morhen can hold us.
Oh my. Just that juxtaposition.
Geralt, a pleasure, as always.
See you back on your feet.
As always?
You don't remember anything?
Unfortunately.
Uh-oh.
Well, you have something to look forward to then. No matter. Tell me, how did the battle end?
They broke into the lab, killed Leo, stole our mutagens, and escaped.
Poor Vesemir. Another protege dead prematurely.
We delayed the funeral until you awoke.
Thank you. As for the mutagens, their loss could prove catastrophic. Let's not lose any more time. Unless there's something you'd like to ask me?
Well, now that you mention it, it all seemed rather sudden, but Geralt and Triss have a very long history together in the books, so these games take place long after the novels. It's not really unusual, though. A lot of people thought it was back when the game released, but who gives a shit? She's a babe, man. Come on. Do you know anything more about the sorcerer who ransacked the lab?
Know anything more about the sorcerer who ransacked the lab?
He's very powerful. He completely controlled the energy he drew from the circle. We may soon be facing another Vilgefortz.
Who?
No matter. I have something I'd like to teach you.
Vilgefortz of Rogaveen. What do you want to teach me? Where are we going? Need to remember that I have a walk key to find. Thank you. What do you want? Oh, she taught us... She gave us a level up? Alright, well, don't mind if I do. Guess we have to meditate for that, though. She had more to say, however. She didn't give us any items, no. Strange.
Geralt, can we go?
Not quite yet. The theft, what are its possible consequences?
The theft. What are its possible consequences?
Most sorcerers and rulers would sell their greedy, power-hungry souls to get the mutagens. Only a master of the arcane arts can use that knowledge. Not many of those left.
What about wealthy merchants, dukes, kings?
Perhaps. Anything's possible, but speculating wastes time. We just don't have enough information.
True.
Geralt, can we go?
Are you able to restore my memory?
Can you restore my memory?
I'd have to examine you. There's a good chance your memory will return on its own.
How much chance?
That's difficult to say. It might help if I knew what caused you to lose your memory.
Well, no time for that now.
Geralt, can we go?
I need to do something. I'll come back and get you when I'm ready.
I need to do something. I'll come back and get you when I'm ready.
Alright. I don't think we can meditate anywhere in here, unfortunately. There are mods that allow you to meditate anywhere, but you need to find a fire in The Witcher. I prefer to keep it that way. I had a feeling that that particular mod was buggy or something, and some people were commenting that it was. So, anyway, I think I'm going to save it here before anything else happens. I don't think there's anything else that the other Witchers can tell us, so I think we're ready to just get going. So, let's do that. What is she doing? Oh, she's eating. Triss. Darling, there's better places. Like you're at your vanity. Why are you eating a drumstick at the vanity? All right. Well, whatever. Let's go.
Geralt, can we go?
Yeah, we shouldn't keep Vesemir waiting. As long as you're done eating.
We shouldn't keep Vesemir waiting.
Come on, then.
We don't know where the bandits came from or who's behind them. We'll draw attention if we venture out as a group. By splitting up, we can also cover more territory.
I'll go west. I know a few people there, and I prefer the coastal
Then
climate.
I'll head east, to Kedwin, unless someone objects.
That's fine. Which way should I go?
South, to Temeria. King Foltest owes you a debt of gratitude. Some time ago, you removed a curse from his daughter. You might happen on the bandits' trail there. And you, Triss?
I'll try to use my influence to find the bandits. If I learn anything, I'll contact Geralt. I'll gather what information I can and find you in Vizima.
Triss.
Don't, Geralt. I detest goodbyes. I'm liable to cry, and there's nothing more pathetic than a sorceress in tears. Don't get killed, Geralt. I don't think I could deal with that again. I'll see you soon.
See you, Triss.